My teacher told me to put my hand in the mouth of an alligator. His body shifted beneath the water as it bit on my hand. A sharp pain tore through my arm, but I stayed still. The teeth sank deeper. I felt it in my chest, in my bones. Every student must pass the trial of blood. The alligator bites, and when your blood touches its teeth, the water reveals whether you're chosen to compete in the Beastmaster battles. Blue meant you were accepted. Purple meant you barely qualified. But for some, like Kruger, the water turned gold. The mark of the chosen elite, those with royal blood. Then it let go. My blood dissolved into the water. I cradled my arm and stepped up. Everyone waited for the reveal, but instead of revealing any color, the water thickened. Until it turned black. Not blue, not purple, not gold. Black. The hall erupted in dead silence. Everyone stared. My teacher leaned forward, squinting at the water like she'd read it wrong.
In 300 years, I've only seen this once.
She looked at me with something between awe and horror.
Either you're the greatest we've been waiting for, or the weakest who will doom us all.
All eyes settled on me. He is cursed.
Or maybe just poor and brainless.
Everyone laughed. The black stayed, and no one knew what it meant, so they let me in anyway. What else could they do? Kruger found me before I'd even put my bag down. He slammed his shoulder into me, knocking me into the wall. His buddies laughed on cue. Black, he said, shaking his head slowly. You know what gives black? Mine workers, dirt people. He smirked. Your father works for my family, right? Congratulations. You were born a servant. It didn't reach his eyes. Your whole family is here with you, pig boy. Even though you are in, I wonder how you will survive the Beastmaster battles, since you have no beast at all. He was right. Everyone at the academy had a beast. Some had two. Kruger had a big tiger that could level a building. The girl in my class had twin Frostfang panthers that moved like shadows. I had nothing. No beast, no bond, no power. Just a black stain in the water that nobody could explain, and a competition I couldn't participate in. I was the joke of the campus. I wanted to tell my parents, but I couldn't. They had already paid too high a price for my future, their health, their comfort, their peace, all traded for my chance to stand here. But when I walked home that evening, shoulders low, I could smell it before I reached the door. Warm sugar, butter, something baking. My mother was at the stove, flour on her cheek, humming quietly to herself. She'd made a cake. You got in, she said simply, beaming at me. My boy got in. For a second I almost smiled, then she saw my face. She set down her spoon. Carl, I don't have a beast, I said. Everyone else has one. Some have three. I have nothing. I'm already a joke, and it's been one day. She crossed the room and cupped my face in both hands. Flour transferred to my cheek. I didn't mind. You got in, she repeated. That's enough for us. Don't lose your heart. It's only just started. Suddenly there was a knock at the door. I opened it. My father stood in the doorway. His arm was wrapped in a rag, red soaking through. Again, another shift of being exploited in the mines that were owned by Kruger's family. Another injury he hadn't mentioned when he sent me his morning message. He smiled when he saw me, wide and warm, like his arm wasn't bleeding through the bandage. There he is, he said, beaming. My son, the academy student, worth every hard day. I looked at him, at his hands, cracked and calloused and stained permanently gray from the stone dust, at my mother's flour-covered apron, at the tiny kitchen, the cracked ceiling, the cake cooling on the counter. All of it was for me. I couldn't quit. Not now. This was my only chance. If I didn't bond with a beast before sunrise, I would be disqualified from the Beastmaster battle, and there was only one way out, the Forbidden Forest. The Forbidden Forest started where the Academy's fence ended. Every student knew the rule. No one went in alone. No one went in at all, really, unless they wanted their life to end. The forest had all sorts of beasts, from powerful to most deadly ones, but it was my only gateway to the Academy. It didn't matter if I died. I had nothing. The trees closed around me immediately. The sounds changed. Insects I didn't recognize. Movement in branches above that was too heavy to be birds. I told myself I just needed to find a beast. But before I could go far, a bear appeared without warning. It was so big, and I recognized it instantly. It was the beast of the princess. It was wrong in the way only a bonded beast can be wrong, moving with an intelligence that regular animals don't have. It rose on its hind legs, and in no time it lunged towards me. Why is it here? Why is it after me? Did the princess send it to kill me? I turned and ran. I ran, but it was faster. I could hear it behind me, closing the gap, and then the ground was coming up to meet me as my foot caught a root, and I went down hard. I rolled, scrambled, looked up. The bear's paw raised, and I was certain that I was about to die. But something strange happened. Something dive-bombed it from above. A hawk. Small, young, but loud and fast and absolutely fearless, raking its talons across the bear's snout before banking sharply away. The bear flinched, snorted, swiped at the air. That was all I needed to escape. I was up and moving, crashing through the undergrowth until my lungs burned and my legs gave out, and I collapsed against the trunk of a wide oak. I was alive. I sat there, chest heaving, arm throbbing from the morning's bite. Something landed on my shoulder. I turned slowly. A tiny spider looked up at me, and somehow none of it felt threatening. She crawled down my arm to the wound. I tensed, but instead of biting, she began to spin. Thin strands of silk stretched gently across the torn skin, weaving back and forth until the bleeding slowed. A careful, delicate bandage. I stared. "You're helping me?" The hawk hopped closer. He leaned in, brushing his beak lightly against my cheek. Not sharp, not a strike. I hadn't realized I was crying until then. My throat tightened. No one had ever chosen me before. I checked my reader out of habit, the little device that cataloged beast power, rarity, potential, juvenile windhawk thunderbird, weak, spider, weaker. The spider finished her work and settled near my wrist, and the hawk ruffled his feathers and let out a soft trill. I let out a shaky laugh. "All right," I whispered. "All right. Maybe we choose each other." We were bonded. Finally, I had beasts. On my way back to the academy, I told them, "I'm not strong. I don't have royal blood or rare power or anything worth bonding with. The academy is cruel." The hawk ruffled his feathers. The spider walked from my shoulder to my hand and back again. I laughed despite myself. I walked back through the academy gates at dusk with a bird on one shoulder and a spider on the other. Kruger saw me from across the courtyard. Something moved across his face. Fast, gone before I could name it. Then he smiled, slow and wide. "Oh, no way!" He called his cronies over, pointing. "Look at this. He actually got beasts." He walked closer, peering at Hawk and Ray like they were exhibits. "They're so cute." His voice was sweet as poison. Truly adorable little things. His cronies snickered. "Tell me something, Carl." Kruger crossed his arms. "How exactly are they going to fight?" I didn't answer. I didn't have one yet. Instead, I said, "At least I got them on my own, not because of my father." He didn't reply, but his face changed color. Kruger never handles losing well, though he almost never loses anyway. I should have noticed it, should have realized what it meant, but I didn't. That night, suddenly, the training beasts started dropping. One moment, the courtyard was loud with the usual chaos. Beasts sparring, going mad, students shouting commands, instructors pacing with clipboards. Then a tiger sat down heavily in the middle of the ring. Just sat, like the strings holding it up had been cut. Then a thunder ram, then a frostfang panther. One by one, 12 beasts in total. A lot of them were unleashed, almost hurting their masters. The bell rang. The courtyard went into chaos. In no time, the soldiers came for rescue. Healers arrived with their magical mana. Paralysis toxin, the healers said, in the feed. Every trough, every bucket, every carefully measured morning portion. Someone had done this deliberately. The guards moved fast. They always did when the academy's beasts were involved. Within the hour, they were tearing through lockers, doing room checks, following whatever trail they'd found. around. Sergeant Rita's voice cut across the entire campus like a blade. Carl Wolf. I was crossing the East Corridor when it hit me. Students froze. Heads turned. Somewhere behind me I heard Kruger laugh. Just once, short and satisfied. And I felt my stomach drop before I even knew why. Front and center, now. The central